I can't do them anymore. I can no longer create videos on immigration.
ICE is conducting workplace raids. They are targeting people who showed up to work. ICE is detaining people who are showing up for immigration check-ins. The State Department is working to revoke student visas from people who are coming here to study.
Now at 10, ICE operations continue in San Antonio. For a second day in a row, agents are seen arresting migrants at immigration court.
And look at this scene on the northwest side. 3 people who appear to be part of a landscaping company. They were taken into custody in this parking lot of the shopping center. Tonight, KENS 5 reporter Megan Reyna is following all these developments for us. Megan?
Well, Henry Easties, this is part of the Trump administration's push for mass deportations. We heard from 2 immigration attorneys who watched as their clients were taken into custody today after they showed up to their scheduled immigration hearings. Crying out, "I don't want to die in Honduras," an emotional mother taken by ICE agents at immigration court Thursday. Another mother also placed in the same van. Her husband says she has no prior criminal history.
Mis hijas esperándolos en la casa. 6 niñas tengo que dependen de nosotros.
But like most arrested, she had just had her case dismissed by a judge.
We were requesting a merits hearing, and the judge declined to set a merits hearing because DHS asked for the case to be dismissed and the client to be ordered removed, saying that it was not in the government's interest to hear a full case.
These videos shared to us show agents in the lobby of the immigration court waiting for migrants, one agent even holding what appears to be a list with pictures. Shortly after, you see agents escort an entire family into a charter bus. ICE says these arrests are a part of the Trump administration's plans to reverse former President Biden's so-called catch-and-release program. They are now utilizing expedited removals. It allows them to fast-track deportations for people who have been in the country for less than 2 years. These arrests are evoking fear among people who have upcoming hearings. One attorney who's representing a man from Central Africa says the option for migrants to appear virtually for hearings appears to be gone. Her client also had his case dismissed.
I feel like we portraying people who was here with credible fears. Just knowing his story, I feel like I let him down.
But
I thought they said they were going after criminals. Those are babies. Those are children, mothers, landscapers. These immigrants are showing up to their immigration appointments trying to stay in this country the right way. And how do they get rewarded for being upstanding, doing things the right way? They get set up and they get deported. Of course, they lied when they said you get to stay if you do things the right way and you're not a criminal. These are innocent babies between the ages of 9 and 12 being zip-tied like criminals, while an actual criminal, 34-time felon rapist, leader of our country, is pardoning other criminals, the cop killing J6ers and Todd and Julie Chrisley. This is what a lot of you Mexicans and Latinos voted for. Not only are you failures, you are the biggest danger to yourselves, your own family, and your community. What an absolute disgrace you are, MAGA Latinos. They are rapidly deporting Black and brown people, many who are indigenous to this continent, while simultaneously importing white supremacists from South Africa, which is an entirely different continent for those who don't know.
ICE is now arresting immigrants inside immigration courthouses right after their cases are dismissed. And if you're somebody who cares about the due process of law, this should worry you. Earlier this week, a father from Colombia showed up for a routine immigration court hearing with his family. In court, the judge told him that the Department of Homeland Security prosecutor wanted to dismiss his case. And this usually means that you're no longer facing removal proceedings in the immigration court. It's supposed to be good news. So he said yes, and even said that this is good because he'd want to stay with his family. However, he didn't have a lawyer, and nobody, including the judge or the prosecutor, told him what was going to happen next. Moments later, outside of the courtroom, ICE surrounded him and took him into custody, leaving his wife and his toddler screaming behind him. As an immigration lawyer of 14 years, I've never seen anything like this happen. And this new aggressive tactic by ICE is basically to ramp up deportation numbers by the Trump administration. And it's also very deceptive because immigrants who are in court think that dismissal is essentially freedom. They think by accepting dismissal, they'll be able to leave the court and go home. But now under this new ICE tactic, dismissal essentially is the green light for detention. And this is not just happening randomly. ICE is coordinating with the government prosecutors in advance, and maybe even with the court judges. For instance, the Department of Homeland Security prosecutors are identifying the cases of people that they can dismiss first. They then tell ICE the courtroom that the individual will be at, and even the amount of time the hearing is likely to take. They give ICE about 24 hours notice so that ICE can plan the arrest inside the courthouse. And the reason why I said maybe even judges is because based on what we've heard in the last couple of weeks, judges haven't even told individuals that there is a risk of detention if they accept dismissal. So if you're unrepresented without a lawyer, you have no idea what you just agreed to. And this tactic, it's really pushing people away from the system because people have slowly started to hear about this and they're not showing up to court. In one courtroom in LA this week, out of the 15 cases that were on the docket, only 5 people showed up. Now people are staying away because doing the right thing could get them deported. And we're essentially criminalizing compliance. One former ICE official said, "We actually don't have an immigration process. We make it impossible for people to comply and move through the system." Courts are really a place where people go to be heard, not hunted down. So if the government can work behind the scenes to detain you right after you participate in the legal process, what's the point of even having the process at all? This destroys trust, and when you destroy trust in the court system, you unravel the entire idea of fair proceedings. And this is something that really should matter to everybody. So I have been asked, what are things that we can do to help? And the first thing is spread the word. Most Americans have no idea why this is happening or what's even happening. If someone has immigration court soon, they could be walking right into a trap and not even know it. Share posts, talk to your friends, and educate people on this as much as you can. Also support local immigrant rights groups. They're on the front lines organizing legal help, helping people get bond money together, and showing up to court to provide pro bono legal representation. If you can donate, do it. If you can volunteer for these organizations, do it. These organizations stretch every dollar and every hour to help families in need. Also, show up. Consider volunteering to be a court observer in immigration court. Immigration court hearings are generally public proceedings. You could also support someone going to an ICE check-in because, again, your physical presence in these situations can help and matters. It tells the individual going through this process that they're not alone, and it tells the system that we're watching every move they make. Also, it's so important to vote, and not just in the presidential election, but for local elections, because sheriffs, prosecutors, and judges all shape how we determine how we treat immigrants in our communities. And most importantly, call your congressman over and over again. Demand real oversight and protection. The silence at this point isn't being neutral. People's lives are on the line at this point. For more immigration news and information, feel free to give us a follow.
What a sad moment for Latinos, Hispanics, anybody who has a heart. How sad.
So with all this deportation happening today, and I know this is going on, but who's going to finish up all the construction? There is a lot of men out there, hard-working men getting deported. So what's going to happen to all the construction and everything that's being worked on right now? Because no one's going to do it. Who's going to do it? Who's going to sit, especially here in Arizona, who's going to stand in 114, 119 degree weather and get paid minimum wage to do that kind of work? I mean, why zip tie them? They're obviously going to go voluntarily. I mean, you think they can't just cut off those zip ties? And they have them buddy to buddy. Oh, and apparently they ran out of zip ties. There might be a shortage of zip ties because now they're doing one zip tie for two. It's inhumane. Inhumane. Just what's going on in this world.
I can't do them anymore. I can no longer create videos on immigration. I get a lot of tags on immigration videos. The problem is, it's affecting me mentally. I think about it constantly. I don't just create the video, I live it. Like right now, the picture of those children with their hands zip tied cannot escape my mind. It's what I've been thinking about for the last 3-4 days. And I feel like we're powerless because even if we create videos and call attention and awareness, nothing happens. I created a video in the Spanish account and it was a silly video. It was just me singing to a song or something, and someone left me a message and said, wow, this is so unlike you. I follow you because you do a lot of political views and you raise awareness on what's going on with immigration. And I said, we're all mentally tired. Creators are mentally tired. We're exhausted because every day something worse happens than the day before. You know, last week was a mother crying because her children from school were not going to be able to be picked up because she was being arrested. A couple of days ago, a mother was passing out as her 8-year-old is telling her mom, it's okay, I'm here. Little did he know that he may not be able to see his mother for years. So every day, something new happens, worse than the day before. So if you see me doing something completely out of my norm, I'm taking a mental break.
If you are Latino and your go-to phrase when asked about all the injustices that are happening with immigrants and with minorities in this country, if your go-to phrase is, well, I don't know much about it because there's nothing I can do and it really messes with my mental health, that is privilege, because the least you can do is be informed. The least you can do is grab your little phone that's already in your hand 24/7 and inform yourself on what is going on. That is the bare minimum. The injustices that are happening, the raids, there's just so much going on where not being informed is neglect. It's wrong. You cannot pretend that the world is a perfect place and keep on about your day because it doesn't personally affect you right now. This idea that because it's happening to others and it's not directly happening to me right now, that is why we are where we are. And it really goes for anyone. Being willfully ignorant is a choice. Because the same way, especially for other creators that use the Hispanic, the Latino card to get more followers and to get a platform, the same way that you can research lipstick colors and you can research the algorithm, you can research what is happening to your community, that same community that you rounded up to get you where you are and to get you money and to get you to the next step. The same way you can stand up. A lot of these creators, regardless of how big or small your platform is, are staying quiet because a lot of them voted for this. And it just shows people's true colors. And it's not come out and speak on it like you're an expert, but at least repost, at least talk about it, at least inform yourself. If you don't know, do the research. We live in a time and place where research is readily available. Talk to those who know more. It's not an excuse anymore, and it pisses me off.
ICE is conducting workplace raids. They are targeting people who showed up to work. ICE is detaining people who are showing up for immigration check-ins. The State Department is working to revoke student visas from people who are coming here to study. They are also threatening to revoke temporary protected status, threatening thousands of people with deportation. Latino communities across the U.S. are holding their loved ones close. People are angry, sad, and panicked, and rightly so. But I want you to remember this. Cruelty is the point. Broadcasting that cruelty into your home, into your device, into your mind, into your heart, that is their goal. If you care about humanity, human dignity, human rights, these images and videos that you're watching are meant to demoralize you. And if you're on the side that voted for this and you're cheering on the raids, it's meant to vindicate you. Now, this is how state violence is sold to the public. They want us stunned. They want us frozen and afraid, and to sit and ask, how could this happen? Why would they do this? That's why they're showing us children in zip ties, people having panic attacks being loaded into the back of trucks. They are showing us families being torn apart in real time to normalize it. The goal with spectacles like this is to normalize dehumanization. Now, this is what scholar Leo Chavez explains as the Latino threat narrative, which is constructed by media and by the repetition of narratives in media. Head over to the link in my bio where I have readings and topics for anyone who wants to learn about Latinos in the US, and look at topic number 3. Now, the Latino threat narrative is like a threat narrative of any other group, but it's a media-driven spectacle that normalizes the dehumanization of these people and paints them as morally bankrupt somehow. Now, those narratives worm their way into public discourse and become normalized. Suddenly, these are not just your neighbors or your classmates or coworkers, they are problems, threats, people who don't belong. And those ICE agents cover their faces because they know that what they are doing is shameful. If you're proud of your work, you do it in public. You show your face. So what do we do about it? A lot of people are saying, I don't know what to do. Here's what we're gonna do. Come back for part 2.
Like, seriously, lovelies, I just feel so sorry for these people who are getting deported by ICE. The embarrassment, the way at which the children were crying. Like, it's something that I couldn't even bring myself to watch, but what do I have to do? These people brought this upon themselves. Even if they never contributed, like personally, like this woman right now, even if she never contributed with the way at which the present administration is running, maybe her sister contributed, her brother, her family, friends. This is exactly what people that looks like me have been trying to tell you guys for a very long time. But you decided to allow the entire blackness in you to take hold of you. Like, there's one thing about some of these Hispanic people. They thought that their white person is going to save them. Like, they actually thought that Orange Man was coming for the criminals, the undocumented migrants, without even realizing that Orange Man, he never liked you guys. He never even liked the fact that you guys are in the said country. This man no longer only deport criminals or undocumented migrants. He's going after legal people, like people who has the right to live in the said country. This is the level at which things has gone right now. And it's so disappointing that people actually brought this upon themselves. It's very disappointing, seriously. Just imagine, kids like this, they went to school and all of a sudden they're coming home realizing that their parents have been taken away from ICE. Do you know what that is actually doing to the said kid? Do you know exactly what is actually doing to the said kid? But this is exactly what you guys could have avoided. I will not forget the favorite music of Cubans, especially Cubans, the ones in Miami. I will vote Donald Trump. I will never forget that favorite music of theirs, making it look like, okay, people that look like me who probably told them that, guys, you really need to think things through, are the enemy. So many people actually thought that black people have a lot to benefit if other people decided to vote the same way that 92% did. They thought black people were going to benefit more. But without even realizing that Black people have nothing to benefit. They're just doing this out of their abundance of heart. But people mistook it that, okay, these guys are probably looking for a way to, you know, a way not to get oppressed anymore. But no, who are the ones crying? Who are the ones being deported by ICE? Who are the ones being disgraced? It's not as if every other person that is standing down and is not reacting or protesting is not also experiencing this. But the truth is, they are used to it. You know, when you are oppressed so much, things like this are just the tip of the iceberg. Like things like this are just like a scratch to what they have experienced as a black person. Like, look at the way this woman was just dragged, and she was like, "Help me." Nobody's going to help you. I hope, you know, everything goes back to normal, but I don't really see it going back to normal any soon. Each and every person day, we wake up to news about deportation and all of that. The other day, a bill was passed that, you know, gave Orange Man the ability to deport over 5,000 Cubans. Either you are you are you're documented or not. That is exactly what people, especially Hispanic people who voted massively for this administration, this is exactly what they have caused. They did that to themselves. They have themselves to blame. Because when we were like, oh my God, think this through, people actually thought that, you know, people that looks like we have a lot to gain. Nothing, they're not gaining nothing. They only just want to help you. That's the way that they have been doing. You know? I just feel so sorry, but it is just what it is, you know? Because when we were like, oh my God, think this through, people actually thought that, you know, people that looks like we have a lot to gain. Nothing, they're not gaining nothing. They only just want to help you. That's the way that they have been doing. You know? I just feel so sorry, but it is just what it is, you know? It's what it is. If they actually listen a little bit to what people that looks like me have been trying to tell them, I don't think that people might find themselves in the said situation that they are right now. I don't think so. Just imagine you are all on your own, and all of a sudden some group of ICE raid you, handcuff you like a common criminal. You never committed any offense, no crime have been recorded, but you are treated like a criminal. It is what it is, right? Sometimes when I see stuff like this, I just keep remembering the song, "Are we birds? God Donald Trump." Like, oh my God. I just wish that things are going to get better, because these little ones, they are so innocent. Anyway, lovelies, want to just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please, lovelies, if you've not subscribed to this channel, do us a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.